Story 1. Just go on r/stoner food. I've seen some actual winning combinations there that work surprisingly well even for those who are completely sober. I'm just pointing you in a good direction for ideas. Story 2. I had an avocado that probably wasn't going to be enjoyable to eat for long, so I sliced it and put it on my instant noodles. It worked. Later, I discovered this is already a thing, but oh well. Story 3. I love eating something super garlicky and then taking a big sip of milk. I'm not sure I'm brave enough to put the garlic in the milk, but the combination is delicious. I don't really drink milk anymore, but it's the perfect way to soothe the garlic burn. Story 4. French fries and powdered sugar. I bought a bucket of fries and a funnel cake on the boardwalk and was heading back to the beach to my family when the wind blew and flipped the funnel cake over into the fries, covering them in powdered sugar. Delicious. Story 5. Mayonnaise and rice. When I was a child, my father would take care of me at home and make what he called fish salad. It was freshly cooked rice with chopped onion, lettuce, tomatoes, grated carrot, and a can of tuna, all topped with a generous portion of mayonnaise. That's how I discovered that I enjoyed the combination of rice and mayonnaise. Story 6. Pretzels and lemonade are a delightful combination. For the best effect, choose darker pretzels, such as Utz Special Dark or pretzel rods. The unique taste of pretzels comes from being treated with an alkaline solution, like baking soda or lye, before baking. The contrast of flavors between the pretzels and the acidity of good lemonade creates a truly delicious experience. Story 7. Hear me out on this. A perfect post-workout quick meal. Scrambled eggs with brown rice, frozen peas, and at the end, add a packet of tuna and a little soy sauce. I could eat this for life. Serve it on a salad with fresh vegetables and Kalamata olives. Story 8. I always add fries to my Caesar salad. I receive some strange looks at restaurants, but it's honestly incredible. Story 9. A quality cottage cheese and rice cakes, or tortilla chips, or anything salty. I love cottage cheese. Story 10. Vanilla ice cream and some sort of fried potatoes such as crisps. And no, I am not pregnant. This is my favorite snack during premenstrual syndrome. Story 11. Okay, this is not my weird combination, but my husband's. Apparently, he used to make it as a 20-something-year-old when he lived with roommates. He boils water, cooks ramen, drains the water, and adds the flavor packet with butter and a generous amount of ketchup. Sometimes he adds barbecue sauce too, but the topping? Feta cheese crumbles. It's like so many different cultures came together to create one strange dish. He made me try it one day, and I have to admit it was oddly addicting. Story 12. I eat hot Cheetos with Greek yogurt. I've replaced Greek yogurt with sour cream, as hot Cheetos are too spicy for me to eat by themselves. This is my favorite snack. Story 13. Not really a combination, but I love frozen popcorn. Just pop a microwave bag and leave it in the freezer overnight. Story 14. My brother-in-law suggested using mashed or sliced avocado on chili instead of sour cream. I tried it and now I do it every time. It might be common, but I hadn't heard of doing that until 3 or 4 years ago. Story 15. It may sound unusual, but I enjoy macaroni and cheese. My preferred brand is Annie's, with a little cottage cheese added. I like to eat it with tortilla chips. I'm 54 now, and this combination still works 4 decades after my brother and I first discovered it. Story 16. Regular salted chips and sour cream mixed together in a bowl and eaten with a spoon. Mashed potatoes with dark chocolate, maple syrup, or both. My favorite breakfast is yogurt with plenty of hemp protein, applesauce, and nut butter. The protein creates a sandy texture that I strangely enjoy. It's also possible to add cooked chia or linseeds for a slimy consistency. Any combination of cheese and marmalade tends to be considered unusual, and I enjoy salted butter on everything, which is fairly common. I also like to lick a salt crystal, eat a bit of plain salt, or make a drink with salt, syrup, and water. This is likely due to my chronic illness, which requires me to consume more salt. I had low sodium levels in my last blood test. Story 17. I put Indian-style curried chickpeas on Southern-style cheese grits, and it's such an amazing combination that it has become one of my husband's and my go-to easy dinners. Story 18. Not so weird, but ranch on pizza can be surprisingly good. My girlfriend used to enjoy it, and I thought it was unappealing for years until I gave it a try. Ketchup on tamales can also be quite tasty if they are not too saucy. This combination is pretty common in Texas. Story 19. I once tried peanut butter and pickles. Sounds awful, but somehow the salty-sweet combination just works. I'm still not sure how or why, but now I'm hooked. Story 20. I didn't make this discovery, but bananas covered in Miracle Whip and dipped in chopped redskin peanuts, also known as banana croquettes, are great. Story 21. Vegemite and lettuce on bread. Jam and cream on bread. Baked beans with cheese on top, in a sandwich pressed with mixed herbs and butter on the top slice. Happiness. Story 22. Nacho cheese Doritos and apples remind me of the 1980s when Doritos had more cheese on them. My grandpa used to enjoy a sandwich made with white bread, mayonnaise, onion, and orange slices. I never tried it, but he loved it. Story 23. Cheap house white wine and Strongbow dark fruit cider in roughly equal measure. I call it swine. Add Monster Energy for Power Swine. It makes a strangely good danger drink. Story 24. Pretty much any concoction my best friend and I made while we were teenagers. I can confirm they are not actually good when not under the influence. Rice with lemon pepper and ranch dressing should stay with my 15-year-old self. Story 25. Good quality thick bacon, egg, American cheese, and a McDonald's-style hash brown patty layered on a sliced glazed donut. Story 26. Has anyone tried bucket? You get a Rubbermaid giant tub, add a handle of vodka, a case of beer, 1 tub of Country Time pink lemonade, and either 1 or 2 tubs of red Kool-Aid. It tastes just like Jolly Ranchers and is very alcoholic. Story 27. Cheerios and Coca-Cola. You eat the Cheerios like they are potato chips and wash them down with a Coca-Cola. Story 28. Hear me out, peanut butter and jelly burger. It makes sense, really. I've ordered a couple of pork burgers with blueberries incorporated that were still savory and nice, and peanut butter has its savory applications in noodles. Combine these, and you've got a pretty good burger. Story 29. School canteen buffet. 11-year-old me decided to put cheese on sweet and sour as an experiment. It was delicious. It's my guilty pleasure dinner 20 years later. Story 30. Buttered toast with ketchup. Biscuits and white gravy with ketchup. Chicken salad sub with marinara sauce. Cheeseburger with honey mustard. Pizza with ranch. French fries with ketchup followed by honey mustard. Story 31. Imitation crab meat sprinkled with balsamic vinegar and garlic powder is unusual but delicious. Story 32. Blueberry muffin and thinly sliced salami create an unusual yet delightful sweet and salty pairing. I was dared to try them together at a party, and it surprisingly works. I place it in the same category as bacon and maple syrup for similar reasons. Story 33. Pickle poppers. Think jalapeno poppers but using a pickle and adding serrano peppers and shredded cheese to the cream cheese mixture. Then, wrap with bacon. Fits together beautifully. Story 34. When I was a child, I had beef jerky and a Snickers bar, and I took a bite of each at the same time. It was delicious. Story 35. McDonald's chicken nuggets are in between raw chocolate chip cookie dough. It's like a forbidden salty sweet sandwich. Story 36. My best friend recommended cheese with Nutella. I thought she might be pregnant, but it turns out it's not so bad. I still dislike myself for enjoying it. Story 37. Blue cheese and raspberries. I don't mean blue cheese dressing, but actual crumbles or chunks. Pop a chunk into the hole of a raspberry, maybe add a piece of pecan too, and eat. Delicious. I definitely discovered this back when I used to come home late and drunk, eating whatever I had available in the fridge. Story 38. I didn't discover it, but the combination of a shot of whiskey and a shot of pickle juice has no business being that good. Story 39. Tortilla chips and applesauce. I loved this as a kid, and my brothers would always make fun of me for it. Story 40. I had a roommate who would dip freshly popped popcorn in marinara sauce. Now I do it sometimes, and my husband thinks I'm crazy. Story 41. Grated cheese and raspberry jam sandwiches. The combination of the savory cheese and the sweet jam is amazing. Story 42. I love eating cinnamon Chex cereal with scoops of peanut butter. I swirl it around, creating a chunky bowl of cereal with almond milk. Sometimes I also add almonds, nuts, bananas, or strawberries. Story 43. Drinking milk while eating something tomato-based, like pasta, feels like a mini tomato bisque to my brain. Dried pineapple with peanut butter and apples with peanut butter are great combinations. Honestly, anything sweet and sour pairs well with peanut butter. Story 44. Ramen and instant mashed potatoes. Ramen on white bread. Chicken nuggets dipped in mashed potatoes and cranberry sauce. Fried chicken dipped in honey. Story 45. Mustard and chocolate cookies. Not chocolate chip, but just chocolate. I have no idea why, but that combination works. Story 46. My old Subway order was meatball marinara, pickles, and sweet onion sauce. They discontinued the sweet onion sauce, and it just doesn't work anymore. Story 47. Not accidental by any means. However, cheese and strawberry jelly sandwiches are delicious. Story 48. Here is my unique sandwich that many think is unusual, but it's amazing. You butter the bread, then add cooked ham, thinly sliced chorizo, sliced tomato with salt and oregano, and finally pickled mussels. It's a peak culinary experience. Story 49. When I was a kid, I used to dunk my pizza crust in soda. I haven't done it in years until the other day, and it was still so good. Story 50. Bread or chips dipped in strawberry yogurt. I discovered this in elementary school when our lunches included one of those snap pots of yogurt and a piece of bread. We dared each other to try crazy combinations, and it turned out to be quite enjoyable. Story 51. I guess Ocean Spray doesn't make Mauna Loa juice anymore, but I used to always toss goldfish crackers in my mouth and take a sip of it to enjoy together. Story 52. In grade school, we were served mashed potatoes and turkey shreds with gravy in a small plastic tray. One day, my friend dumped a bunch of pickles in my mashed potato tray. I ended up eating it out of spite. For the rest of grade school, I added pickles to my mashed potatoes. It was actually a decent combination. Story 53. Canned tuna and canned sweet corn. Mix in mayonnaise. I was adding random ingredients together one day. Story 54. I recently watched a BuzzFeed India video where they tried leftover dosa with peanut butter and banana. I initially thought it sounded unappealing, but surprisingly, it was really good when I tried it. Story 55. Potatoes and sandwiches add a satisfying weight and pleasant texture. I've also used it on hot dogs and dipped them in gravy. Absolutely amazing. Story 56. Not my discovery, but my grandfather was a ship cook during World War II, and he brought back a monstrosity that he claimed was created due to a lack of supplies at the time. The peanut butter, mayonnaise, and tomato sandwich. It somehow works really well. My mother swears by using garden-fresh green tomatoes for a less sugary result. Story 57. I thought it was normal to eat bacon, Vegemite, and jam sandwiches when I was 11. I found out the hard way at school camp that making such a combination for breakfast in front of others was not a good idea. Story 58. Flour tortillas with ketchup. Nacho cheese Doritos with cottage cheese. Hot Cheetos with dill pickles. Story 59. Make instant ramen. Chicken flavor works best for this. When the soup is done, take some noodles out and place them on a slice of peanut butter bread. Fold in half and eat like a sandwich. Make grilled cheese and prepare a rich glass of chocolate milk. Dip the grilled cheese in the milk. It's amazing. To be clear, this isn't the time for a fancy version with artisan bread, spices, or expensive cheeses. This is for classic American white bread and processed cheese. Story 60. Peanut chutney with a little bit of honey or sugar is delicious. Trust me. Curd with sugar, chaat masala, and sev is similar to dahi puri but without the puri and potato. Tastes very similar. Story 61. Pesto and Mornay sauce together. I mix it with chicken, vegetables, pasta, and mozzarella. It's super easy and delicious. Story 62. Grilled cheese sandwiches with jam or jelly on them are a delicious treat. Grape jelly is my favorite, and strawberry is quite enjoyable as well. Story 63. I was on a flight recently when I noticed the flight attendant was handing out everything for free, so I asked for 2 hazy little thing IPAs. The only thing to eat was a Biscoff. It's a lovely combo. I asked for another Biscoff and another beer too. Story 64. Cream cheese with either green salsa or a chili sauce, served with chips or crackers. It may cause terrible heartburn, but it's so worth it. Story 65. My husband quietly judges me for this, but I enjoy instant ramen with Balkan yogurt. Personally, it's best if it's curry or a rich, spicy type of ramen. The spice from the ramen and the coolness from the yogurt create a wonderful combination in my opinion. Story 66. I have been ridiculed for saying this, but for those who haven't tried it, please don't judge. Toast some bread, spread a thin layer of Kissin mixed fruit jam, and sprinkle a little bit of rock salt on top. I love it. Story 67. Soy sauce and balsamic vinegar. No joke. I tasted it at an Asian fusion restaurant and it was amazing. Story 68. French dressing on pizza. Honey mustard mixed with cocktail sauce on a fried chicken patty sandwich. Story 69. When I was a child and we were quite poor, one day during summer break, I went to make lunch. I looked in the refrigerator, and all we had was leftover spaghetti, eggs, and some other random items that I couldn't really use. I fried an egg while I microwaved the spaghetti and put it on top. It was honestly very good. Story 70. Lemons with salt on them sharpen the bite for me. For my sister and cousin, it delays the impact and then delivers a strong punch. Story 71. Mustard in cottage cheese. My uncle made it for me as a teenager, and it's surprisingly good. It adds some zing to the cottage cheese, using either French's yellow or golden spicy brown mustard. Story 72. Tomato sandwich. White bread, preferably whole grain, mayonnaise, and fresh sliced Roma tomatoes. It's fresh and tasty. I love this simple sandwich. Story 73. Bubby's bread and butter pickle chips on an egg salad sandwich with Valentina hot sauce. It's not crazy, but it's good. Story 74. I love grilled cheese with lingonberry jam. I don't know if that's considered weird to a lot of people, but my husband thinks it's bizarre. Story 75. Accidentally grabbed the cayenne instead of the cinnamon to put on an apple. It wasn't bad. It tasted somewhat like a raisin. Story 76. Place a hot, spicy fried egg in the center of a cold peanut butter and jelly sandwich and thank me later. Story 77. Not super weird, but hash browns, the shredded kind, not chunks, with steamed broccoli, cottage cheese, and either French dressing or ketchup may look unappealing, but it tastes good. Story 78. Salt and vinegar crisps and Cadbury chocolate buttons, or another quality milk chocolate, was a combination I discovered years ago as a teen. Later, in my 20s, I watched someone on MasterChef Australia discover it for themselves and create a winning dish for that round. Story 79. Toast white bread to your preferred level of crispness and let it cool slightly. Spread any type of butter, real or not, followed by a smooth layer of creamy peanut butter. Top it with classic rich-cut dill pickles. It may seem unusual, but it works remarkably well. Story 80. Jalapenos and pineapple on a pizza with a touch of chipotle mayonnaise. Sounds unappealing but is somehow enjoyable. Story 81. Cheese pizza and gravy. I ordered a gravy chip and pizza from the school cafeteria and used the pizza to soak up the gravy. The beef flavors complemented the tanginess of the tomato sauce, while the gravy helped remelt the cheese, making it stringy. Story 82. Chocolate-covered dill pickles. When I was a child, there was a chocolate festival in my city. One of the vendors offered dill pickles coated in milk chocolate, which were then cut into approximately half-inch slices once hardened. Those were easily my favorite treat at the festival, and every year we attended, I made a beeline for that vendor's booth. Story 83. Someone once requested a mint chocolate chip, strawberry syrup, and cinnamon milkshake. Tasted surprisingly good. Story 84. Applesauce and macaroni and cheese. I have loved it since I was a child. I didn't realize it was an unusual combination until I made the mistake of telling my family. Story 85. Mustard and potato chip sandwich is amazing. I discovered it as a kid when I wanted a sandwich, but we were out of lunch meats and all we had was mustard and chips. Story 86. A restaurant I worked at long ago offered either cinnamon ice cream or a slice of cheddar cheese as a topping for the apple pie. Cheese and apple pie are surprisingly good together. Story 87. Strawberries and black pepper, with a very light touch of black pepper. Everyone scoffs until they try it. Story 88. Not a food combination but a nutritional drink. Rich chocolate in coffee. Tastes like a mocha. I call it the old man mocha. I discovered it when I ran out of creamer. Story 89. My aunt used to eat a bowl of bananas with sour cream and a little bit of sugar. I thought it sounded unappealing until I actually tried it, and I loved it. When I first met my husband, he told me his family enjoyed eating chili with peanut butter sandwiches. It sounded unappetizing until I tried it. Story 90. I used to spread peanut butter on toast, add sriracha, and then place over-easy eggs on top. If I wanted a little sweetness with the heat, I would add honey. The eggs melt the peanut butter and make it delicious with the yolk. Story 91. I put either cream cheese or coleslaw on sandwiches or burgers instead of mayonnaise. I thought it was pretty normal until I became more social and was told that it was gross. It's not. It's delicious. Story 92. Peanut butter, cheeseburger, and jelly. For an extra kick, I also recommend adding some sriracha sauce. Story 93. I didn't discover this myself, but I found out that others do it thanks to the internet. Dipping French fries in milkshakes. Story 94. My grandma used to make peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwiches with real mayonnaise like Duke's. Add a banana and you're in for a treat. Nobody believes me, but it's really good. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.